Am I the asshole for not wanting to do a ton of housework as the breadwinner? I, 25 male, and my wife, 23 female, don't see eye to eye about housework. Backstory. We live in an upper middle class neighborhood with 2 children, 3 and 8 mo, and 5 pets, 3 dogs, 2 cats. I'm the primary breadwinner of the house. I work full-time and make approximately $32,000 from that job, and passively make $50 or $400 from retirement pension, all after taxes. She stays home and takes care of the house and children with the help of her sister, 21 female. Side note, the sister doesn't work and stays in my house rent-free, and I ask her to keep up with the house, seeing as I'm not asking anything else of her. My wife and I have always been at a disagreement that I should do more chores around the house other than the small things that I do after I get home from work. Feed the animals, take out the trash, do whatever small project repair that needs to be done. Generally nothing bigger than about an hour worth of work. Her sister is home full-time and should really be cleaning the house full-time, seeing as she's not contributing nor trying to get back on her feet. I understand that my wife feels like she has a lot, but for the time being I can't see she wants me to do more when I'm doing something, paying everything for everyone and working full-time. Not to mention that her sister is there doing nothing unless asked to. You can talk about the sister staying there and doing her part, but right now your wife has a 24-hour job and you have an 8-hour job. Info. Why does your wife think you need to do more chores? What does she say when you ask her about her sister? Unless there's something big you're not mentioning, this is pretty straightforward. If the sister wants to stay there, her rent is her labor. She can clean the house top to bottom, and your wife can do childcare. I mean, it's basically a live-in maid, right? Info. What does your sister-in-law do around the house? Also, what is your wife asking you to do? Can't really give a judgment without more information. Why don't you bring this proposition up to your wife? She can work full-time, and you can stay home. Then you can tell her she needs to do more around the house after working a full day. Am I the asshole for telling my dad's wife that her and her kids need to either sign a lease and pay rent, kick out her daughter, or move out after my dad passes away? My dad is going into hospice next week, but he has been out of it for the last 6 months. The house he lives in with his wife and 2 adult daughters is mine. I bought it for him to live in after my mom died. He spiraled for a bit when that happened. He lost his job, and he was evicted from their apartment. I bought a small house in an older, safe neighborhood for him and his dog. I am all he has, and I love him. 5 years later, he met Maxine, and 2 years after that, they got married. He moved her into the house. I didn't have a problem with that. First one, and then her other daughter moved in. Not my favorite thing, but not really my place to say anything. Everything was fine for a while. Then one kid decided that she was scared of my dad's dog. She got her mom to convince my dad to get rid of Donnie. My dad didn't want to do this as Donnie was my mom's dog too. He was an old Jack Russell Terrier, and he was about as scary as a dog-shaped rug. I took Donnie. I don't know why, but this pissed off Maxine and her kids. Like my dad found a loophole or something. I would take Donnie with me whenever I came to visit. They always made a big production of it. Such a scary brute. Literally all he did was go roll around on the grass and bark at the squirrels. Like I said, my dad is going into hospice this week, and I went to talk to Maxine and her daughters. I brought Donnie to say goodbye to my dad. Maxine's daughter said she was glad that she would never have to have Donnie in her house again. I was planning on telling her that as long as she paid the property taxes, maintenance, and utilities, she was welcome to live in the house as long as she wanted. She had made my dad happy, and I was trying to be nice. I had my lawyer draw up an agreement that said exactly this. Her kid pissed me off, though. I didn't even pull the it out. I just gave Maxine an ultimatum. When my dad died, she had 3 months to either kick out her daughter, sign a lease, and start paying a reasonable rent, or move out entirely. She said the house was going to be hers when my dad died, since they were married. I actually got great pleasure in telling her that it was mine. Not because anyone gave it to me, but because I bought and paid for it. I gave her my lawyer's card and told her to check for herself. That was yesterday. She has been trying to call me all day today. I ended up blocking all 3 of them. But not before I heard all kinds of messages about what a prick I'm to do this to a widow and her children. Both daughters work, and none of this is really my problem. I was in my 30s when my dad married her. She was never anything to me but my dad's wife, and I never bothered to learn her daughters' names. Am I the asshole? Go ahead and have your lawyer write a letter of your intent to take over the house as your own upon your father's death, and that you expect them to go ahead and find other living arrangements. Not the asshole. All of them are adults. Not the asshole. Where I live in Ontario, Canada, the laws and current backlog of landlord-tenant disputes make it very difficult to evict a tenant. In addition to not paying rent, some tenants have been destructive, doing thousands of dollars in damage to the rental. I applaud your kindness in wanting to provide affordable housing to your mom's wife. However, if I was getting hostility rather than any appreciation, I'd be inclined to prioritize both my investment and mental health going forward. I'm sorry to hear about your dad. Not the asshole. Sorry to hear about your father. His wife and her children obviously needed to hear the truth, because it's clear they thought they were inheriting a house. Their worries should be centered around your dad, not the dog. Be sure to follow all tenancy laws in your area. Not the asshole. I wouldn't even offer to lease it to Maxine, because it will be a never-ending fight. She will let her daughters live there. She won't pay the rent as agreed. She will cover you up with maintenance demands. You will end up spending thousands on legal fees and help to get her finally evicted, only to get your house back in a condition that will cost you thousands more to rehab. 3 months is more than generous, especially after how they've treated your father and how they think it's their house. Or sell it to them for market price. No owner financing. Full on sale with deed transfer and everything. Am I the asshole for humiliating my daughter, for making her tell her relatives that she isn't graduating and paying me back for the all-rental stuff? This is a throwaway, also on phone. My daughter was supposed to graduate college this semester. We have been talking about her graduation party for basically 7 months. What she wanted to do and who to invite. We have already sent out the invites, and multiple relatives have booked flights to come up. The issue is, my daughter isn't graduating. She lied to everyone for at least 4 months. She failed a class she needed to graduate last semester and didn't inform anyone. She told us this yesterday. The party is in about a month. Everything has been paid for already. So I informed her she needs to call all her relatives and explain the situation. If they can't get a refund for their flights, I expect her to offer to pay them back. I also informed her she needs to pay back the rental price since I can't get a refund for some stuff. This resulted in a huge argument, and she is calling me a jerk for humiliating her. I explained that it is her fault, and if she informed us months ago, this wouldn't be happening. My husband thinks I am being a bit harsh, but is sticking with me. Edit. She knew she failed the class by break the first week of December. She had all December, January, February, and this March to inform us, and didn't. She continues to plan with us for the graduation party, and never informed us she wasn't graduating. It was a core class, offered once a year. She will need to take it in the fall. Not the asshole. Your daughter lied about graduating and still expects a graduation party? Does she not know what the meaning of the word graduating? Not the asshole. I've been in your daughter's shoes of having to tell my parents that I'm not going to graduate, so I can definitely sympathize with her. But at the end of the day, she brought this upon herself by seemingly focusing more on planning the party than on her studies. I'd argue it's even in her best interest to call everyone individually. If you go ahead with the party and it comes out that she isn't graduating, she'll have an extremely public humiliation that would likely cause a lot of anger too. If anyone humiliated her, it is herself. Not the asshole. Her actions have consequences. People have paid to attend her party. If they can't get their money back from the airline, it's up to your daughter to pay them. You can't lie and make everyone spend money for your event and then expect your mother or someone else to take the consequences. Not the asshole. It is humiliating, but she created this mess by not being honest about how she's been doing this whole time. Not all flights might be refundable either. Soft, you're the asshole. She should still inform relatives that she isn't graduating. I would still have the party if no one can get refunds on their flights' travel expenses, but not as a graduation party, so no decorations or gifts, but just a reunion type. And due to you financially being unable to cancel the party, she doesn't get a graduation party when she does graduate, as you had to pay for this one. Not the asshole. She humiliated herself by lying to everyone for months and allowing relatives to buy plane tickets, knowing she wasn't going to be graduating. These are called consequences of your actions. She could have just told everyone right from the start that she had an issue with one of her classes and will be graduating a semester later. Instead, she lied. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.